The Series Selector and Quick Add Series pop-ups offer simple ways to generate graphs. However, sometimes we will want to make detailed changes to multiple graphs. For this, we use the Multi-Editor loaded with this button. There's a lot to see here, broken up into different sections. Let's start with the top section. Here we have the graphs that are currently being edited. We selected 4 graphs, so these have all been analysed and loaded into the form. The top section has some basic editing features. One is for editing the graph titles, divided up into rows so we can edit one row of the graph title at a time. You can also edit the y-axis for all the graphs here. Let's now look at the yellow section at the bottom. This is for editing the series on the graph, and it is where the tool gets really useful. To understand what it does, it helps to understand something about the graphs. Every line on a graph has a formula that references the source for the name, the x values, and the y values. These have been separated into these sections of the editor. All of our graphs have been created with the series formulas that work in the same way. They each have only a single range for each part of the series formula. For example, the y values reference a sheet, a start row, and an end row in a single column. These have been separated into the following inputs, so each can be modified individually. As our lines are time synchronized, the start and end rows are the same. The only difference between each series is the column. Similarly, the only difference between each selected graph is the start and end rows. Because of this similarity between series formulas over many graphs, we can quickly edit some of these values while keeping all others intact. Whenever anything differs between the graphs and series being edited, you will see an asterisk. Provided the asterisk remains untouched, the original settings will remain intact. Here we are choosing what series on the graph to edit. Currently, all series are selected to be edited, so most of the options are showing asterisks. The only thing that all the lines on the graph have in common is that they all reference the same sheet and that the x values are all on column A, our time column. Let's select the first series. For the first series of each graph, we can now see that the name is referencing the same cell in column B, row 1. Also see that the y values are all referencing column B. The start and end rows are all that vary between the selected graphs, so they are shown as asterisks. From here, we can quickly switch the column from B to another column. Because this checkbox is selected, this has automatically updated the column for the Y range as well. You can see in the background that this column has been highlighted as we're editing it. We can also edit the look of the series. For example, we can change its color from black to blue. When we hit apply, the changes are applied to all the selected graphs, each one at a time. With this tool, you can make quick changes to all of your graphs in one go. You can even delete a series or duplicate it. The multi-editor is much more effective when there are fewer differences between the graphs. If it looks like the selected graphs have different series between them, then you will get a warning and it may be better to use other macros or to make the changes manually. Let's look at some of these other methods now. Some examples of other ways you can multi-edit the graphs by selecting multiple graphs are: firstly, title text. We saw earlier that these titles can be edited with the Graph Multi-Editor, but these macros have added features. The graph title can have the date automatically added. The axis title can be set for both the primary and secondary axes. And we can also set the start and end values for both axes with this button on the Set Range toolbar. Next, we can edit the tab names. The rename to start time updates all the selected graphs with the start time of the graph in a shortened format. This one is run automatically when generating a graph, but it can be rerun manually if you wish to update the tab name after making changes. You can also control the text yourself or find and replace on the existing name. Finally, we can edit the formatting. Here we have Apply Default Styling, another macro that is automatically run, but that can be rerun. This one will reset the standard graph style and layout. You can also choose to apply the default suggested series coloring. Using this will ensure all your graphs are consistent and easier to compare. Copy style to other graphs is useful if you have changed the style or layout of a graph and you want to maintain consistency by applying this change to the other graphs. Auto-size the legend and reset the axis spacing will apply the standard graph setting for these items only. In the last video, we saw some easy ways to generate graphs using the pop-ups. Another way to generate a graph is by selecting the cells you wish to plot before clicking the Graph Maker button. This will prompt to generate a graph from the selection and apply the default styling to it. This behavior is similar to using Excel's own Insert Chart feature and then running the formatting macros we just looked at. The last click tool button is a simple but useful feature where you can quickly copy a series from one graph and paste it into another. Click on the series you wish to copy and you'll see a pop-up with a button to paste the series to another graph. Unlike the series selector and quick add series, this will copy the series exactly as it is, that is, without modifying the start and end range or the datasheet. This can cause your graphs to have plotted series that start and end at different times to each other. If this is the case, you'll see this warning appear at the bottom of the click tools. This is also a button. If you click this, it will reset the range of all the series to match the start and end of the first one. This concludes this video tutorial for dBMacros. Please get in touch if you have any questions or encounter any issues.